Good afternoon, everyone. In behalf of my bosses, I'd like to thank the officials and of the PIEP and the organizers of this event for inviting us. Um, as the Philippine Development Plan is, as you know, is currently being crafted. The consultations are still ongoing. The focus of my presentation would be the National Spatial Strategy, or the NSS. But before I present it to you, I would like to share to you the ambition natin 2040, which shall guide the succeeding socioeconomic development plans. What is Ambition 2040? It is a long-term vision for the Philippines, of the Filipinos, for the self and for the country, which could be a basis for unity among Filipinos, especially at this time. Let me emphasize that it is a vision, not a plan. And it would serve as an anchor for development planning across administrations and guide for engaging with international development partners. What is this vision? By 2040, the Philippines shall be a prosperous, predominantly middle-class society where no one is poor. Our peoples will enjoy long and healthy lives, be smart and innovative, and live in a high-trust society. So, let me present to you the draft outline of the Philippine Development Plan. It would have 6 parts: enhancing the social fabric, reducing inequality in econ development authorities, increasing potential growth, enabling and supportive economic environment, foundations for inclusive and sustainable development, and it would have 22 chapters. Where will the National Spatial Strategy will come in? It will be under Chapter 3, an overlay of economic growth, demographic trends, and physical characteristics. What is the NSS? It shall define the country's desired spatial structure based on trends in population, economic activities, and services. It recognizes the increasing role of cities as drivers and venues of growth and poverty reduction, and promotes spatial integration through a well-connected network of settlements. Looking at the country's total population, as of 2015, it is at 100.98 million, higher by 8.64 million from 92.38 million in year 2010. It increased at the rate of 1.72% annually during the period 2010 to 2015. So as you can see in the map, Calabarzon had the highest population at 14.14 million, followed by NZR and Region 3. By 2040, the projected population of the Philippines will reach around 141 million. Looking at the population density, Metro Manila has the smallest land area among the 4 metro centers and therefore has the greatest population density. Its density increased from 16,082 persons per square kilometer into 2,000 to 20,975 persons per square kilometer in 2015. The second densest metro center is Metro Cebu, which has a population density of 1,585 persons per square kilometer in 2000 and a current population density of 2,666 persons per square kilometer. The least densest are Metro Davao and Metro Cagayan de Oro. The main strategy under the NSS is National Dispersion Through Agglomeration, Regional Agglomeration. It aims to decongest Metro Manila by promoting scale and agglomeration economies in regional and sub-regional centers and manage the growth of large and more environmentally constrained metropolitan centers. Under the NSS are the three subcomponent strategies as follows: vulnerability reduction, regional agglomeration, and connectivity. So under vulnerability reduction, Commissioner Hornilla have mentioned several times about disaster risk, promoting resilience of cities, and she's also mentioned that the Philippines is among the top 10 most disaster-prone in the world. So within the development context, we know that disaster and climate risk erode whatever development gains the country has achieved and hamper its full development potential. Such risks may be attributed to several factors, including the geophysical condition of the country and uncontrolled and unsustainable development, particularly in ecologically sensitive and hazard-prone areas. Thus, this strategy, vulnerability reduction, aims to protect environmentally constrained or hazard-prone areas, control settlements in hazard-prone areas, ensure safety of the population, and ensure access to areas affected by hazard events by providing redundant routes. But let me highlight that hazard-prone areas should be identified at the lowest possible planning unit, and corresponding risk reduction measures should be instituted. And there is also a need to implement measures and incentives that will prevent and minimize further encroachment into these critical areas. The next subcomponent strategy, regional agglomeration, aims to optimize benefits from agglomeration, increase viability of wider variety and higher levels of services in areas with bigger markets, and reduce encroachment into agricultural land and other environmentally sensitive or protected areas. What is the role of infrastructure development under this strategy? It provides physical access to production inputs and markets, as well as establish linkages with or within production networks. It integrates settlements to form a functional network of areas that serve as centers of production and consumption and as primary access points to social and other development services. It provides essential framework to guide economic growth and development. And overall, the infra development is the backbone for physical integration of the country. Its location, scale, and design have strategic impacts on local as well as national growth and development. The last subcomponent strategy, connectivity, aims to improve linkages among settlements and key production areas, direct growth in areas with greatest economic potentials through efficient transportation networks, increase access to jobs and services by people in smaller settlements, and connect rural areas to growth centers. The National Spatial Strategy proposes a network of settlements based on trends on population, economic activities, and strategic roles of urban centers. This network consists of 4 metropolitan centers: Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, and Metro Davao. And by 2025, Metro Cagayan de Oro will reach the level of urbanization of a metropolitan center. Then 37 regional centers, 117 sub-regional centers. The rest are provincial and local centers, which shall be provided in the area spatial development frameworks. Actually, these frameworks have already been completed by the NEDA regional offices, taking up from the NSS strategy. So this network must be linked through infrastructure programs and projects. The centers perform functional roles that contribute to the flow of economic activities in the network. Metropolitan centers serve as centers of commercial, financial, and administrative activities. They serve as primary international gateways, and these areas will have high-level services, including those in education, health, and public transport. On the other hand, regional centers serve as regional markets and service centers to several provinces and are typically characterized by the presence of advanced urban services such as finance, medical centers, in the universities, ports, and airports. And most of these centers have direct linkages to metropolitan centers. Lastly, sub-regional centers connect to and serve as service centers of smaller provincial and local centers. What are the roles of these metropolitan centers? First, Metro Manila will continue to function as the premier metropolitan center of the Luzon and the Philippines. It will remain as the seat of the national administration and the center of commerce and trade. Metro Cebu is the country's second largest urban center with extensive domestic and international links next to Metro Manila. Its central location makes it a natural center for major urban functions and serves as the Visayas economic, commercial, and logistics center. On the other hand, Metro Davao is a major international gateway and shall serve as Mindanao's premier commercial hub and center for education and health services. Lastly, Metro Cagayan de Oro is a major gateway and transshipment hub in northern Mindanao. It will also remain as a key educational center in northern Mindanao that will cater to the need of industries and services sectors. That ends my presentation. So, as I have mentioned, earlier, the National Spatial Strategy have already been translated to the area spatial development frameworks. These frameworks have already been adopted by the area committees of the NEDA board, regional development committees, and the regional development councils. And we can see from the previous presentation of Commissioner Hornilla that some of the strategies there are also relevant to the NSS and vice versa. So we think that NSS could be relevant in addressing urban development concerns. Thank you.